And under estimating, what is estimating? Why do we use it? What is it good for? That's a good one too. Okay, estimating is basically this. You are trying to get close to the actual answer. In other words, there's a couple reasons you might want to use estimating. You would want to do estimating to see if when you do get the exact answer, it's actually the right answer. Because if your real answer and your estimated answer are a long ways away, then maybe you did something wrong on your calculating. You know, sometimes you estimate because you just don't need to know an exact answer. You know, maybe you're going to the store and you're buying a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and, I don't know, some cheese curds. You're from Wisconsin? Maybe from Wisconsin. You know, you could estimate to see how much money you need because you're probably not going to know exactly that you need $17.23 or whatever. But here is the place where most people go wrong. Let me give you an example here. If I said to estimate, 68 plus 39. Estimate 68 plus 39. The book suggests that you do what we call use compatible numbers. Compatible. And some of you, like I said, when you estimate, it's more common sense than anything, because some of you go, what if I got this for an answer? What if I got that for an answer? Like I said, I really can't, because estimating is just getting close. You can make a case for just about a lot of answers, but you want to use some common sense in doing this. You know, in order to estimate, you probably want to round to what we call compatible numbers. And what that means is take 68 and round it to a number that you find easy to work with, but that will also give you the closest to your real answer. So somebody might argue, well, I'm going to round 68 to 100. To which I might say, well, 100 is a long ways away from 68 if you're, depending on what you're doing there. So you might want to, instead of taking 68 and making it 100, think about making it 70, because 70 is not a bad number, is it? Most of you can think of 70. And 39, again, 39 would be close to 40. And hopefully, 70 plus 40 is something that maybe you can kind of pop up in your head, which would be, 110. Okay? Like I said, you could make the case for me and say, well, I rounded this to 100, and I rounded that to 50, and I said 150, to which I'd say, I really can't probably mark you wrong for that, per se, but it's really not. You could get a little closer and get a better answer. Because the closer your estimate is to the real answer, the better off you are. Now let me tell you what it is not, 5th grade, and I see people doing this all the time. I see people doing this. They go, oh, I'm going to estimate. They get estimate and rounding answers mixed up. They'll take 68 and add 39 to it, do all this work, get 107, and then they'll round their answer to say 100. That's not what estimating is. If the book wanted you to do that, it would say, round your answer to the nearest 100. Okay? If it asks you to estimate, you're taking the numbers they're giving you, coming up with the best, closest rounded numbers that you can work with, and getting the closest estimate number answer that you get. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Wow, that's the first time I've made sense today. Here's another example. What about 41 times 23? If they asked you to estimate that, What do you suppose you'd make 41 to? What would you make 23 to? Logically, Caleb, I would go with 40 times 20, which hopefully you're getting the gist of this. Easy way to do 40 times 20, they both end with 0, so there's 2 zeros in your answer. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So you can do that awful close. What about this one? 96 divided by 31. And sometimes you have to look at what numbers would actually, divide into this. Again, somebody might think, well, I'd make this 100 and this 30, but 100 divided by 30 is not really an easy thing to do. What would you, instead of 96, I mean, there's kind of a,
95?
does 30 go into 95?
90.
Yeah, I mean, the closest one that you could really come up with that's best, even though it's kind of far away, would be 90 divided by 30. Because 30 times what is 93, so your answer would be close. Sometimes it takes a little bit of logic. Sometimes it's, it's not completely obvious. What about 703 minus 497? 703 minus 497. What numbers would you round to? What would be the best compatible numbers? Sam?
70 and 50.
Well, I think 700 and 500, right. And you could probably do 700 minus 500, and that's 200. So I think you kind of get the gist of that. It's not super,